I started this gangster shit. And this the motherfucking thanks I get. Hello. I started this gangster shit. And this the motherfucking thanks I get. Hello.
Hey, if you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button. Join us. Thank you. All right, everyone. Yes, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. My name's Ethan Van Sciver. Maybe you heard of me. 26-year veteran of the comic book industry, world's most charming, elegant, eloquent, and yet humble man. Great big Star Wars fan, especially now. Trusted member of the media. And here's another trusted member of the media. This is Data Racer 117. This man is vital, precious, be sainted, be loved, all of those things. Data Racer 117. Why is he so loved? Why is he so loved? Because Data Racer 117 does what other people will not do. He descends into the tarry black pits, just disgusting caverns of SJW thought, NPC quote unquote thought, and he creates these aggregate tweets, okay? Like this. Look at these beautiful right here, this tweet right here. This is one tweet, and look at all this information that basically prove that NPCs and SJWs all think exactly alike, tweet the exact same things, the same thoughts, are concerned the same way consistently. Okay, so you can read these. You can read one of his tweets and then just put your two fingers together like the sign of the cross, like, oh, stay away from me, crazy SJWs. But not only that, he kind of exposes how they exert pressure on culture by all kind of tweeting this same kind of pressure. I mean, this is all social pressure here. Let me show you what this is, and then you can decide for yourself if Data Racer 117 is a genius or if he is just incredibly gifted and special. That'll be your decision. And then we're going to move on. And after we do that, I'm going to tell you why I have a blanket statement, and it is screw these people. Screw these people. And not just these people. I'm going to talk about a different species of person, and screw them. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, screw them? Yes, screw them. We will get to that, but first let's look at what Data Racer 117 is doing. Now, SJWs and NPCs are whining and crying. They are pooping their diapers. They are pissing their pants over the Mandalorian. Why? Because it's good. It's working. Right now, we are at a wonderful watershed moment in pop culture. I don't know if you've noticed, but like we're winning. The SJWs are losing the culture. It's become clear. Every time they do these gender swap movies, Terminator, the new Terminator movie with some woman as kick-ass Terminator warrior, awful. It bombs. People don't want it. It doesn't matter if it's good. It doesn't even matter anymore. It's just people don't even want it. People are not going to see it. Charlie's Angels, another great big bomb. They took beautiful, sexy Charlie's Angels and turned them into miserable-looking, unhappy, angry dope addict. I don't know if they're actually dope addicts, but they look like it. They look like they're all hooked on meth, angry with machine guns. Nobody wanted that either. That's just not what Charlie's Angels is or ever was. They're ruining culture. In the meantime, as they fight us, good and pure, wonderful in thought and deed, creatively, consistently amazing, and just doing what people want. That's just giving the people what feels natural to them, what they want. The Joker, they tried to stop the Joker. They tried to call it a movie for incels. Really? Well, it's made $1 billion. This Underdog is now the most profitable superhero movie of all time. You couldn't stop us. You've ruined Star Wars with all of your identity politics, and yet when two brave men, Cowboy Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, get together and create something called The Mandalorian and say, hey, let's make an old school Western with Star Wars. Let's make it like our lead character is Clint Eastwood. Let's do a lone wolf and cub thing. We'll bring the women in. How do we interest women? Do we interest women by making women into badass warriors? No, that's not how to get women in real life. Real women aren't like that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to get a little tiny cute little baby Yoda. And we're going to make this tough guy Mandalorian, this Clint Eastwood type, super protective over that little baby Yoda, and that's going to make us relate to and like him an awful lot because he's got a heart. The women are going to like baby Yoda, and they're going to admire the Mandalorian for being a man DeLorean and taking care of this kid. Of course, these are natural impulses. This is a brilliant way to actually get real women, not crazed ideologue feminists, but real women to be involved with Star Wars and to enjoy it. And I'm telling you this, when those toy Yodas those toy Baby Yodas, not Toy Yoda the car, but toy Baby Yodas hit the shelves this week like they're supposed to, it is going to rock and roll. They're going to make so much money at Hasbro and Disney, and they should be rewarded for doing something right. I know we got a lot of Fandom Menace people out there who are just like, no, screw Disney. No. Control Disney. Manipulate and control Disney. Not just screw Disney. When they do something right, you give them a dog biscuit. And that's what we're going to do. I think that's what we should be doing. Saying, you know what? Fire Kathleen Kennedy, fire Rian Johnson, fire all the ideologues, hire Jon Favreau, hire Dave Filoni, and when they make stuff that's good, we reward them with our money. It's called without respect, we reject, but with respect, we accept. And that is, and we reward. That is the power of the customer. All right, so having gone through that big thing, let's see what these feminists are crying about. They're crying because they're failing and we're winning. And this is hilarious. The Mandalorian, of course, 89% average on the thermometer. I tried to find a different way to pronounce it, and I used to be able to do it, but it's tomato meter. Tomatometer. Thank you. There we go. Tomatometer. And then 94% audience score. Everyone loves The Mandalorian right now. Now, feminists are saying there are no women in this. That's not true. They're right here. These are the women that are going to be in The Mandalorian. I haven't seen them yet. Fine with me. I don't really care. I'm not really looking for the women. I'm looking for a story. I'm totally immersed in it. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying learning about Mandalorians. I'm curious about, the Baby Yoda. What is the Yoda species? What is this? Who is Baby Yoda? Is he related to Yoda? These are all things that I want to know, and I don't give a damn if there are women in it or not, because it's good storytelling. And I think everyone else feels that way too. But here come the feminists. Here come the piss babies. I like calling them the things that they call us. Here come the women cells. All right. So far, there aren't any women in The Mandalorian, so most Star Wars fans should love it. That's right. Okay. Well, I thought, Actually, I thought Star Wars fans were mostly women. That's weird. That's a weird thing to say, to acknowledge. Over here. Okay, watch the first episode of The Mandalorian again, and I'm still really disappointed by how all of one woman headlines. Why do you care that much? Why is it that important to you? I didn't even notice that. It just felt good. It felt like good storytelling. It felt like good Star Wars. It's weird how you're keeping score. Watching The Mandalorian, I'm really enjoying it. That's all that matters. However, it has taken 19 minutes for a female to appear, so that's disappointing. That must be disappointing, but you're really enjoying it. See, that's the thing. You're really enjoying it. It's amazing how you can really enjoy something without it completely serving your weird, disjointed, ideological demands. I mean, you of course, everything has to be, well, we got to have a certain number of women in this. We got to parse things out so that it's equal all the way around. And in the meantime, The Mandalorian, while it may not have as many women as it has men, the cast is incredibly diverse. Most people are wearing helmets, but I mean, we've got Carl Weathers, who is African American, the great Carl Weathers, and others. I can't even think of any other cast members right now. We've got, oh my gosh, what's that guy's name? The director, the famous documentarian director. Every time I do this, I forget names. I'm not going to, you know what? I'm going to keep notes next time. Next time I'll take notes. I'll have notes in front of me. I always speak extemporaneously, and it gets me into trouble. All right. Oh my gosh, David. David, you don't say. This is terrible. Are you telling me that it's been 1945? 19 minutes and 45 seconds is the length of time before there's the female speaking role? Oh my god, 1945. That's the year that Hitler was killed. Is that a coincidence or what? Couldn't be a coincidence. This is an outrage, David. We've got even the guys freaking out about this. Be careful of guys that care too much about things like this. Mandalorian is fun, but where the hell were any female characters? I don't know. Check hell. How about that? Not a single woman in that entire Mandalorian plot. And yet it was good. Mandalorian review, 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 because there's... I think this guy's joking. I think this guy's fake. 0 women in episode 2 of The Mandalorian. That's a big goose egg there, and yet everyone loved it. I also didn't see many women in the crowd seats. I'm not going to count, but they were dominated by male extras. Domination's the name of the game. That's correct. All right, what else? We got another page of this. God, do I have to read all of these? All right, let me just pick one at random. The Mandalorian dares to ask a question. What if Star Wars, but no women? I think that was mostly Star Wars. I think that was the original Star Wars trilogy in which there were 3. There were just 3 women. One of them actually ended up barbecued within the first 20 minutes. The other one, Mon Mothma, was barely in it. And the other one was Princess Leia, which was, it turned out that unlike Rey and unlike Rose Tico, I'm sorry, unlike General Admiral Studies Holdo, Old Ho, she actually mattered. She was a cultural icon. They did it once and they got it right the first time, and you're still talking about her. That is Star Wars. There's never been Star Wars with no women, but there has been Star Wars with too many women who were terrible, faultless characters. Again, more and more of this. Here we go. More pressure. Where are the women? Oh, look, the cast is 98% male. There are more droids with lines than women. Some thoughts about Mandalorian, otherwise known as the unending, inescapable, existential ennui, of being a woman who writes about Star Wars. Oh, it's so painful, Liz. Maybe you could write about something else. How about My Little Ponies? All right, so anyway, this is the whole thing. Your boy, Data Racer 117 collected all of these ridiculous quotes from people who are pretending to be upset about something that doesn't matter, about a show that's actually working. And this is the kind of pressure that feminists and SJWs will put on anything, any establishment, especially within pop culture. I remember Blumhouse Productions, Jason Blumhouse, created Paranormal Activity. Those movies, which were made with like $20 and then made $1 billion. This is a guy who knew what he was doing. He started a whole studio pumping out these horror films with interesting hooks that got people's asses into the seats, into theaters. Everyone was excited about it. This guy created a multi-billion-dollar studio. But you know what? He didn't hire enough women, and so they came after him so hard. They said, "Why don't you have more women and women of color on your staff? Why don't you?" And he eventually had to bend the knee. These people just kind of said, "Hey, we see what you built. We see that you built it without us. We see that you built this big thing without us. Can we come in there now, squat all over it, force you to create some kind of weirdo HR department? We want to be your human resources department. We want to force you to hire people who are unqualified based on their skin color, gender, and sexual preference. That's what we want to do. Do you mind? Do you mind, Jason Blumhouse?" And this guy, of course, he just, under that kind of relentless pressure, he had to just say, "Yeah, all right, send in the clowns." And that's what they did. They sent in the clowns. Now he's got to juggle. He's got to juggle with these clowns. So anyway, this is Data Racer 117 who is putting all this together. And of course, interestingly enough, this might be, I don't know, Data Racer, you're going to have to tell me if this is the case or not. Look at this, 555 comments. I've never had a tweet do this, but this is the hard work that Data Racer puts in. 878 retweets, 3,859 likes. Now, Data Racer doesn't have a blue check mark. Do you understand? I mean, this is the thing. This is all genuine. This is grassroots reaction from fans who are looking at this, who are agreeing with their points. What does he write? SJWs are outraged over the lack of female characters in the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, a show with only 3 female characters. Feminists only care about counting the number of minutes women are on screen in Star Wars. That's all they're doing. These people are just counting the minutes that women are on the screen. They don't care about your entertainment. If they don't care if your entertainment gets ruined. These people are simply like Robert De Niro in Casino, just counting the number of blueberries in those muffins. Except, feminists are not blueberries. Blueberries are delicious. They're plump. Well, feminists are often plump. They're blue. Well, they often have blue hair. But they're not delicious and good for you. They're toxic. They're toxic garbage. It's like they would be kind of like what were those pods? Those Tide Pods. Yeah, feminists are like counting the Tide Pods in the blueberry muffins. There aren't enough Tide Pods in those muffins. There, I pulled that analogy together seamlessly. You guys didn't even notice. It was amazing. Now, this is something that people... okay, now here's the part where we get to the screw everyone, screw all these people. This is the part where I fulfill that promise here, because this kind of feedback, this kind of retweeting, this kind of commenting, all of this stuff here, this is going to get back to the SJWs in power. And sure enough, what's about to happen to Data Racer is easily predictable. Okay, you've got this person here, this weirdo, doing what they do. What SJWs do is, as soon as this kind of a thing happens, they identify Data Racer 117 as somebody who is hostile to their narrative. And now, and with any number, and we go through these garbage tier, pop culture, far left wing, all the BuzzFeeds out there, all of those awful, and God, I would call them just yellow journalism. I would call them tabloid journalism. I'd call them just filth, left-wing garbage. Of course, they have access to these things. They have access to quote-unquote journalists who are going to come in and write an article smearing Data Racer 117. Don't you dare shine the light on these cockroaches in such an effective way ever again. And here's your threat. DM me if you'd be willing to chat about this tweet for an article I'm doing on it. This person is going to do a smear piece, a hit piece on Data Racer 117. Now, there is no shortage. I've encountered these people during my time in Comicsgate. This is what they do to silence you, and they sound kind of friendly. Hey, DM me. Hey, let me know if you want to. Hey, do you mind answering some questions? If I'm writing an article about you, and that's going to shut you up. That's going to stop you from producing all of this great work that you're producing right now, for shining the light on us, for exposing us, for being an effective advocate for normalcy. So this is a threat, and of course Data Racer knows about this. Sure, Kat, I'd love to help you write a hit piece on me. Good for you, Data Racer. The piece is going to happen anyway, and get ready. Data Racer 117 doing great work. Now, that's the thing. We're going to have to kind of stand behind Data Racer and people like Data Racer who are brave enough to actually expose NPCs and SJWs the way that he has. Understand what this is. You have something precious right now. If you're a Star Wars fan or just a fan of anything science fiction, you like it. We have something precious. We have the success of The Mandalorian. Okay? And it's a successful show because it is doing what successful shows do. It is putting story ahead of politics. That's all it is. It's putting the story and the characters ahead of the political statement. Amazing. In 2019, we have this diamond in the rough, and we don't know if it's going to end up to be something horrible at the end. Is it going to take a social justice twist at the end? I hope not. But for now, let's assume that it isn't, and let's just say right now it's working. It's doing everything properly. And this is something that needs to be cherished and protected from people like this who are now assembling en masse. And this is just a small sampling. Multiply this times a million weirdos. It's the Million Weirdo March. This is what they're doing out there. They are trying to put an end to that. They're trying to shame Jon Favreau. They're trying to shame Cowboy Dave Filoni. Do not shame Dave Filoni. And they're trying to make it so that nobody tries to do this again. Don't ever try to do any kind of Star Wars that doesn't kneel to us. We are the weirdo feminists. We are the SJWs. You will bow, you will kowtow, and you will do what we say and create content that furthers our agenda, rather than entertains the audience. And we don't care if it destroys Star Wars completely. Indeed, it has already. It has. And yet, a shining light. All right. Let me know what you thought about this video. Leave me comments below. Let's, by the way, go over there and follow Data Racer 117. Throw him a little bit of support. Tell him he's doing a good job, because this is no fun. I mean, they're probably going to want to dox him. They're probably going to want to give him a real hard time. But he's doing what's right, and he's doing a great job, so he deserves your support. Please like this video. Share this video. Let other people know about what's going on. And let people know about Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Check and see. By the way, thank you guys for sharing the videos and actually subscribing again. I'm hearing from a lot of you who are saying, I didn't unsubscribe and I've had to resubscribe to you. What is YouTube doing? YouTube's beating down channels like mine, okay? And that's what's going on right now. If you could, double check to make sure that you're subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Join us. Join this movement. Join this family. Join this fun. And let's do this together. I'll see you again later with another video. Bye-bye. Hey, you want to follow me on Twitter? Are you sure? Well, if so, I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. That's at Ethan Van Sciver. See you there. Hey, I got a P.O. box. Want to send me some mail? Send it to Ethan Van Sciver, P.O. Box 607, Marlton, New Jersey, 08053. And I'll probably open it up on the live stream. Thanks very much, everyone.